let's talk about detaching, letting go. We know that this is one of the most important parts of the process. You have to choose what you want, affirm it. Well, it's part of choosing, really. Choose what you want, then let it go, right? Detach from the outcome, detach from the how. It's none of your business how it comes to pass. That's not for you to figure out. That's just adding unnecessary weight into the process, thus increasing the experience loops and making it take longer to come to pass, right? So letting go. I feel like most of us struggle with this because our brain doesn't like working in negatives. The brain wants to work in positives. It's a doer. It doesn't like not doing. So you've almost certainly heard about the idea that you have to stop wanting what you want in order to get it. And I totally understand how you might be confused by this, because I think the wording is not ideal. So we're going to try to explain it a little bit better today. So I feel like a lot of people, they hear that and they go, well, how does that mean that I can never enjoy anything? No, that's where we get stuck. That's where we're mistaken, right? It's not about shedding yourself of desire such that you can never enjoy what you want. We have to really understand what it means to want. Okay? Are you able to appreciate and love the things that you have? Of course you can. Of course you can. But you don't want them because you already have them. So I feel like I have the worst props on my coffee table here. But let me grab a pen. Let's go purple. Love purple. It's the greatest color. All right. I want this pen. All right. I don't have it. I want it. Now I have it. Can I still want it? It's in my hand right here. It's nowhere else. It's in my possession. How can I still want it? That's the point. It doesn't mean that I don't love it, that I don't appreciate it, that I'm not grateful for owning it, but I can no longer want it. See, I think as a society, as a culture, if you want to say, we have glorified want. We've glorified the chase. And honestly, I don't know where this came from. Like, maybe give me a couple hours to meditate on it. We can maybe come up with an answer, but I don't think it matters. See, a lot of what we have to do with manifestation is not so much working with what we understand reality to be, but rather redefining what we thought reality was. That's what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of people get stuck. They're like, so I can't want what I want? How does that make sense? That means I'm going to be like bored my entire life because I have to stop wanting things and then I'll get them and then I won't appreciate them. No. The issue is in what we understand want to be and how important, necessary we understand wanting to be. Wanting is not a constant state. It's not a state we need to attach to, become, and own. It's fleeting. It's transitionary. Yeah. Liminal, if you will. Wanting is not something that we want to hold on to. Right? It's not important. It's just another way of explaining attachment. But we don't want to attach. Just float free and observe the reality before you, right? So I was talking to one of you actually on Instagram earlier. And I was reminded that reality is always trying to make sense of itself. Okay, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, is trying to craft reality such that it will make the most sense to us. And we've talked about this a little bit before with how our memories are shaped, because remember, our memories are fallible, they're not accurate. Our memories are shaped by who we are right now, who we choose to be, and our whole system, our mind, body, spirit complex, as Ra would say, then creates memories to make the moment make sense. So when you feel yourself to be rich, for example, and it's consistent and true, there is no doubt, then reality goes, hold up, we have a problem. We've got a paradox. This person is rich, but it's not showing up in their reality. We have to fix that. And thus it will be fixed. So we never have to work, we never have to work in the physical. But this doesn't mean, oh man, paradoxes, I love paradoxes. This doesn't mean that we sit around and do nothing. We just need to understand that the work is not physical. Remember, action is the effect, it's not the cause. This is all it is, guys. It's not about doing anything drastically different. It's not about rituals. It's not about techniques. It's not about destroying the ego or shedding yourself of want. It's about fully understanding what all these feelings, what these concepts truly mean. So it's not about demonizing action or whatever. We're not saying action is unimportant. We're saying we understand it to be in the incorrect part of the process, right? Action still exists in the process, but we think it's at the start of the process when it's actually at the end. All we have to do is reshuffle our understanding of reality. And this is why I love talking about time. Even before I was into this shit, time travel and discussing the logic of time travel fascinated me. It was an obsession when I was younger. And now I understand why. Because it's actually useful. I'm gonna share a little story. So this is gonna sound funny, but several years ago, when I was seeing an acupuncturist, we got along really well, and she actually lent me some books. And one of those books was, it was the first book in the Farsia series, if anyone knows what that is. I confess I only read that one book, and I didn't look into it further, so I'm not too familiar with the series. But there was one part of it that all these years later has stuck with me. And I find so profound, so fascinating. So, spoilers, I guess. The main character, their last name was, or family name was Farsia. And he was talking to the wise sage character in the story, musing on, well, hang on, why does my family have this name if we have no history of being seers, right? Meaning being able to see the future, if you don't know what that means. And the wise character was like, you have that name because you are destined to be a seer in the future. So it set up this kind of circular fate thing where, because this character was going to be a seer, his entire family all the way at the beginning was given that name. And it blew my tiny little mind at the time. But this is it, guys. Everything exists in a single point, and the present creates the future, and the future creates the past. The past creates the future. It's an infinity symbol, but it's also a circle and a spiraling vortex. It's like shapes that we don't fully appreciate because of our limited understanding of like 3D reality, right? So we're detaching from the outcome. Doesn't matter how we get it, and we can't want it. Because when you have something, you don't want it. It's already yours. All right, so if you're interested in someone, you're not trying to chase them, you're not trying to figure out, how am I going to get them? How do I impress them? You're not worrying about what they think of you. Remember, you can't get anything wrong. So when you're worried about those first impressions, they don't matter. Remake it. Remember, our memory it's not accurate. We can redefine it. Again, it's not about destroying what we see, it's about repackaging it, redefining it. We don't get rid of want, we don't get rid of ego. We redefine it. We understand it differently. Nothing gets destroyed or created. It just transforms. Okay, so if you want money, this is like, you've heard this one before. How would you behave if you had money? Now, we may be tempted to think that, I'll just spend money like it's nothing. Is that how rich people behave? I think you'll find the answer is no. They're actually very careful with money. They invest it wisely. Now, they may not worry about it, but they do handle it intelligently. So what do we need to do? We need to stop worrying about it, and it'll come. If I want this pen, I have to stop wanting it. I have to stop needing it. I need to detach from, how am I going to get it? When am I going to get it? I can't live without it. Yet you can live without it. Obviously, you're alive. And once you stop wanting it and behaving as if you have it, then reality will go, hold up, we got an issue here, let's fix it. He believes he has the pen, so let's give him the pen. All right, guys. As always, take what resonates and discard the rest.